Why you're attracted to people who hurt you. A Jungian explanation. You are not attracted to people who hurt you because something is wrong with you. You are attracted to them because something inside you is trying to become right. And that distinction between brokenness and an unconscious drive toward wholeness might be the most important thing you hear this year. What if the pattern you keep repeating in love is not a failure? What if it is a message, one you have not yet learned to read? Today, we are going to look at one of the most painful experiences in human life, the experience of being drawn again and again to people who wound you. The emotionally unavailable one, the one who runs hot and cold, the one you thought you could save. You know the pattern. You have lived it. And you have probably told yourself some version of the same story, that you have bad taste, that you are broken, that you just need to try harder to want the person who is good for you. But the psychologist Carl Jung offered a very different explanation, one that is more unsettling than the idea that you are simply making a mistake, and far more dignified. He believed your unconscious mind is not sabotaging you. It is trying to heal you. It is using attraction like a homing signal, locking onto the exact person most likely to bring your deepest buried wound to the surface. Not because it wants you to suffer again, because it wants you to finally resolve what was never resolved. This video will walk you through why that happens, how it works, and what it actually looks like to wake up inside the pattern instead of being controlled by it. Stay with me on this one. It goes somewhere you might not expect. Let us start with the pattern itself. You have probably noticed that your relationships, no matter how different the people seem on the surface, tend to end in familiar pain. The same feeling of abandonment, the same sensation of not being enough, the same desperate reaching for someone who is pulling away. This is not a coincidence, and it is not stupidity. Jung would call this the repetition compulsion, the psyche's strategy of returning you again and again to the scene of your original wound. Now, Freud saw this too, but he interpreted it darkly, as a kind of death drive, a self-destructive loop with no exit. Jung disagreed. He believed the psyche does not move toward destruction, it moves toward wholeness, and that is a very different thing. Here is where it gets personal. Your earliest experiences of love, with your parents or primary caregivers, did not just teach you what love looks like. They taught you what love feels like in the body, the warmth, the anxiety, the longing, the relief. All of it became a template. Jung called this the parental complex. Think of it as a blueprint you did not choose and do not remember writing, but you follow it with extraordinary precision. If love, in your childhood, meant reaching for someone who was emotionally absent, then emotional distance will not feel like a red flag to you when you encounter it in adulthood. It will feel like recognition. It will feel like home. And this is why you can know, intellectually, that someone is wrong for you and still feel magnetically pulled toward them. The complex does not answer to the rational mind. It has its own logic, its own gravitational field. It operates like an autonomous personality, living inside your psyche, choosing for you before you even realize a choice has been made. And here is the part most people miss. The complex is not trying to trap you. It is trying to bring you back to the original scene, the scene where something went unresolved, because the psyche believes at a level deeper than thought that this time you might finally see what you could not see as a child. This time, you might wake up. Now let us go deeper, because the parental complex explains the pattern. But there is another layer that explains the intensity, the almost unbearable magnetism you feel toward certain people, even when every rational part of you is saying to walk away. Jung believed that the parts of yourself you have rejected, the parts you learned were unacceptable, do not disappear. They go underground, into what he called the shadow. Your neediness, your rage, your vulnerability, your hunger to be held. Whatever was not welcome in your family, in your culture, in the image of yourself you built in order to survive. All of it is still alive. And when you cannot access it within yourself, you will find it in other people. This is projection, and it is the hidden engine of almost every intense romantic attraction. You are not just attracted to a person. You are attracted to a piece of your own psyche that you can only see when it is wearing someone else's face. Let me give you an example. Say you grew up in a home where anger was dangerous. You learned to be calm, accommodating, pleasant. Your anger did not vanish. It became shadow. And now, you find yourself irresistibly drawn to someone with an edge, someone volatile, someone who takes up space without apology. You are not attracted to their cruelty. You are attracted to the vitality you were forced to disown. The pain they cause often mirrors, with disturbing accuracy, the pain of the part of yourself you have refused to know. Now take this one step further. Jung described something he called the Anima in men and the Animus in women. Essentially, an unconscious inner image of the ideal beloved. This image is shaped by the opposite-sex parent, by culture, by deep archetypal material that goes back millennia. And when you meet someone who matches this inner image, what happens is not ordinary attraction. It is what Jung called falling into the archetype. You feel it as a kind of numinous recognition. This person feels cosmically right, fated. You cannot explain it, but you feel it in your bones. And this is precisely where the danger lives, because the archetype is not interested in your well-being. It is interested in your transformation. And transformation, in the Jungian sense, is never comfortable. It requires meeting the very parts of yourself you have spent your entire life avoiding. This is why the wrong person can feel so profoundly, disarmingly right. They fit the image, and the image is a doorway, not to happiness, but to wholeness. So if the pattern is not a mistake, if it is your psyche trying to heal, then what does healing actually look like? This is the part that changes everything, and it begins with a distinction Jung drew between two words we often use interchangeably: fate and destiny. When the pattern runs unconsciously, when you are inside the complex and do not know it, that is fate. You repeat the wound without understanding it. You fall in love with the same emotional architecture in a different body, and each relationship ends the same way. You feel like life is happening to you, like you are caught in a current you cannot escape. But when you see the pattern, when you name it, when you feel the pull and understand where it comes from, the same material becomes destiny. The wound does not change. Your relationship to the wound changes, and that changes everything. Here is what this looks like in practice. You meet someone and you feel that familiar electricity, that tightness in your chest, that sense of recognition. And instead of diving in or running away, you pause. You ask, what in me is responding right now? Is this person, or is this my wound dressed in a new face? You do not have to leave. You do not have to stay. You just have to be awake. And this leads to what Jung called the withdrawal of projection, which is perhaps the most painful and liberating experience in psychological life. Withdrawing a projection means taking back the parts of yourself you have been outsourcing to others. It means reclaiming your own vulnerability instead of finding someone whose vulnerability you can tend to. It means facing your own rage instead of being drawn to someone who carries it for you. It means grieving the parent who was not there instead of endlessly recreating their absence in new relationships. When you do this, something strange happens. The compulsive magnetism, that overwhelming pull toward the person who is clearly going to hurt you, it fades. Not because you have gone numb, not because you have given up on love, but because you have reclaimed what you were searching for in them. The missing piece was never in the other person. It was in the part of yourself you abandoned long ago to survive. This is deeply disorienting. It can feel like loss, like the world has gone quiet in a way that almost scares you. But it is actually the beginning of something real. Because for the first time, you can see another person as they actually are. not as a screen for your unconscious, not as a stand-in for an archetype or a parent or a disowned piece of your own soul. Just a person, flawed and whole, like you. Jung once wrote that the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. You may be watching this and thinking about a specific person, someone you loved more than made sense, someone who hurt you in ways that felt both unbearable and strangely familiar. Someone you have tried to get over and found you could not. I want to offer you a different way to hold that experience. What if that relationship was not a wrong turn? What if it was your psyche's way of showing you something you were not yet ready to see? Something about your own depth, your own unmet grief, your own capacity for a love that does not require you to abandon yourself. The work is not to stop being attracted to people who challenge you. The work is to understand what in you is calling out for healing, and to answer that call yourself, not through another person, through your own willingness to sit with what you have been running from. Individuation, the Jungian term for becoming who you truly are, does not happen in isolation. It happens in the crucible of relationship. Every person you have loved, even the ones who broke you open, brought you closer to the parts of yourself that were waiting in the dark. The question was never, why do I keep choosing this? The question was always, what part of myself have I been refusing to meet? If this reached something in you, something quiet that you do not usually let yourself feel, then this channel is for you. We go to these places often. Subscribe if you want to keep going. And take a moment with whatever came up for you today. It matters more than you think.